Becky Duff here, crocheting a sweater. What better content than a sweater for the sweater weather readathon? Today is October 22nd, so it is actually day 2 of the readathon, but I did start reading a little bit yesterday. So one of the books I picked up is, I took the dust jacket off, but Knitting Pearls, edited by Anne Hood. So this is like an anthology of different people's stories, writers. It's writers writing about knitting. And show off my cute little bookmark. Very autumn with the fox, I feel like, but then like kind of springy with the flowers and stuff. But I picked this book because I wanted, for this readathon, I wanted to read only books off of my bookshelf. And this one I picked for knitting as an autumn or cozy word, because with knitting or crochet, I think of sweaters, scarves, hats, things like that, things you wear as the weather is getting cooler. So I've been working on this sweater that I will showcase later. This is the second sleeve I have to do, and then I'm done, and then have to weave in all the ends. But I've been working on this for a couple of weeks. I ran out of this yarn and then had to wait to buy a little bit more of it. I work at a craft store, so it's easy to pick up lots of different crafting material and end up with way too many crafts to do. But I am going to finish. I'm on row 14 of like 27 that I need to do, but the first 15 rows I'm just doing circles, and then it turns into a bell sleeve, so then you're adding a few stitches and stuff like that. So I'm just doing the first 15. I'm on row 14, and then I'm going to jump in and read a little bit of the Knitting Pearls. That book, like I said, is broken up into a bunch of different stories by different writers writing about knitting. I used to knit. That was the first thing I learned how to do. I don't knit anymore because crochet is just so much faster and I find simpler and easier to do. So, and I could never do things like in the round like this with knitting. It just did not work out for me. So I couldn't do hats or anything. I could do scarves, dishcloths, a blanket, anything square, rectangular, flat like that. So I just crochet. But there's 6 different sections in the Knitting Pearls book, so I figured if I could read a section a day, which is roughly about 50 pages, then I could get it done for the week. So that is awesome. And I'm kind of a little bit overwhelmed with all the reading I need to do this month, because I'm also participating in the Black Readathon that runs the entire month. And I'm in the middle, not even the middle, but like less than 100 pages into Franny Langton, The Confessions of Franny Langton, for that readathon. Now this readathon has started, the Cozy Readathon, so I'm just a little bit overwhelmed with all the amount of reading I feel like I need to do and have no time for it because my house is a complete disaster, so it's been very neglected this month. And I'm a slow reader, so like those 50 pages a day in one book is a lot to not even be able to pick up any other books. So I'm trying to read 50 pages of that, and then I have Sheets by Brenna Thumler, which is a graphic novel, and I am reading that because I rarely ever read graphic novels. I want to get into it a little bit more, but I haven't read a graphic novel since I read the Bone series back like 12 years ago. So one of the prompts is to read a book in a format that you don't normally read. So if you don't listen to audiobooks very much, try an audiobook, or try an ebook if you don't do ebooks, or do a graphic novel or a manga or whatever, a physical book. Maybe you don't read a lot of physical books. So for me, I've been doing enough audiobooks, and I've been neglecting my e-reader, sadly, but I just have so many physical books to be reading right now, so I picked that graphic novel, and I bought it because I had requested it from the library, and it sat there for like weeks and weeks and weeks, like waiting, and it never did come in. So I was like, I'm just gonna buy it. And my daughter, who is almost 10, she's really into graphic novels right now, so I figured she could also read it after me. And now the second part of that book, Delicates, has come out, and I want to buy it, but I haven't yet, so I'll wait and see if I like this one. And it's not available at my local Kohl's, so I can't go and pick it up. So if I ordered it online, it probably wouldn't get here in time to read it for this readathon anyways. So I will wait and buy Delicates later if I like Sheets. So hopefully I like it. And then I have Room on audiobook. I also have it as a physical book, but I found it as an audiobook as well. And so I picked that one for having orange on the cover. And then I'm also hoping to get to One of Us is Lying, because that takes place in the fall. It starts in like September. And I got it like a year or two ago as a gift from Reddit Gifts, so I really need to get to it. I had one of those little... Oh, it fell on the floor. So yeah, those are my reading plans. For now, I am going to jump into the Reading Pearls and hopefully read Sheets, the graphic novel, fairly quickly, as it is a graphic novel. There's part of my sleeve, and I will update later. Okay guys, what are we doing?
Carving pumpkins.
Play with knives.
Yeah.
No! Dad, can you sharpen our knife?
Well, tonight.
What are you doing, Soph?
What? Sharpen our knives.
Playing and eating popcorn.
Dad, you can sharpen our
Let's put
My cat's here. My cat's here on my bed. Can I show everybody?
Yeah.
Who gets this one?
Let's put the technology away while we do our pumpkin carving.
Who gets this
My
one?
cat is on my bed in
Who gets
Stardew
this one?
Valley.
That one's
there.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Dad,
And I'm
look,
gonna go to
this is
sleep,
a
save
pumpkin.
it, and
So,
carve some pumpkins.
yay! So Daddy's gonna,
Carving
we're
some
gonna
pumpkins.
watch
Carving
it.
some pumpkins.
Watch that knife in your
I'll-
face.
Yeah, watch the
So
knife.
I'll leave it
So
right.
we're gonna, we
Should I have
gotta,
the
we
sharpener
gotta gut the
knife?
pumpkins.
Stop, please.
I don't
Please
like
stop.
the feel of
No,
bumps.
you want that to stay on. We need a bowl to put all the pumpkin seeds in. Did Daddy look up how to do
Okay.
pumpkin seeds?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. My dog is excited to carve a pumpkin. Hi, Maribel.
I don't know where it is.
Hi.
Leo,
You ready to
look at
carve a
Leo.
pumpkin?
Mommy and Leo.
You got the perfect face. Leo's in front of my dirt pile, though.
Here, this bowl.
Look at our dirty floor. You kids were supposed to clean that.
So I just stab it.
That bowl was outside last night. Is it good?
Mommy, do I just stab it right here?
Okay, we're just
Yeah,
cutting the
kind of.
top.
Let Daddy help with the cutting the tops. Kids had a pajama day at school today. That's why they're all in their pajamas.
So I don't do this very often. This is why I'm not great at it.
All right, Rylan, let's stick your hands in it. No, you don't want to put on a glove.
Yeah.
That gets rid of all the fun. You gotta
It's fun.
feel the
You
pumpkin
gotta feel
guts.
the sliminess.
You gotta feel the pumpkin guts in your hand.
Oh, it's so cool. It's slimy.
I don't like.
You love slimes.
No, I
So
don't.
just put the seeds in there. Try not to put guts in there if you can help it. You can get some guts in there.
Can I have gloves? I want. Where are the gloves? I don't want to feel
Yum.
pumpkin guts again.
Oh, it feels so cool though.
I don't like pumpkin gut feeling.
I
All right,
think I
Rylan.
just
Okay, this is
needed
Rylan's.
a pumpkin seed.
Okay, here. This is Rylan's pumpkin. So, oh, you don't. It doesn't have to be like.
I'm gonna
clean.
grab this. It's so watery.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, ew.
So you start.
Ew. Okay, ew.
If you can.
Your pumpkin.
Ew. It's like a spider.
Leo's excited.
Mommy, it looks like a spider home inside.
Maybe we should move the switch so it doesn't get covered in pumpkin guts.
Don't touch it so if you get pumpkin guts all over your hands.
I'll move it. My hands are clean.
Yeah. Can you do that now?
This is gonna be disgusting. Look at inside of this pumpkin.
Oh, look. It looks like ribs.
Okay.
No, it looks like a spider's nest.
Oh, it looks like ribs on the side.
Ooh.
What did you make, Rylan? Show me
Hold
what.
here.
Show me what it is.
Make sure your
It's
fingers
a
aren't sticking
pumpkin.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, but what is this and this? Show
You wanna
me.
Grip this
It's
really
the
good.
eye,
Stick it in.
nose,
All the
And
way
then
in?
smiley face.
you don't have to stick
Oh,
it
I
all over.
love
Okay,
it.
my
This part is hard. And you just need
Sophie's-
to saw it. So you try to like this.
Learning how to carve by Daddy.
How do I
Okay.
do the
And then
bottom?
you stick it out. And
Oh.
stick it back in like this.
Mine has.
Happy day 3 of the sweater weather readathon. I am in my cozy reading spot right now because that was the day 3 challenge. So I have been neglecting this spot like crazy. I've been just mostly reading upstairs in my bedroom or on the couch. And yeah, so I had to come down here and show off my cozy reading spot. And I am going to start reading One of Us is Lying by Karen, is it M. Mcmanus? And I have not read any of her books yet, but I've heard good things about this one. So I'm hoping to read it. I don't think I'll get the whole thing done this weekend. It's already Saturday evening, like 5 p.m. But get a chunk of it done. And then I also, so this is a book that takes place in the fall. It starts part 1, September 24th. So, and I think fall this year was officially September 22nd. So this one takes place in the fall. And then I started the audiobook for this one. And this covers orange on the cover. So I've heard good things about this book as well. And then last night I finished Sheets by Brenna Thumler, which is the graphic novel. I read it all in the one day. So that was really nice. I mentioned that I haven't read a graphic novel in like 12 years, but that's not true. I read one last year, but it was just like more, I'd say almost like a comic book with the amount of writing in it. And it was an Indigenous Métis story, and it was just the first one out of the story, but I read it for the Readathon that I did last year. But this graphic novel was 200 and something pages, and it was good though. I read it all. I took like 3 sit-downs, but read it in the one day, so that's good. I'll need more graphic novels to read for readathons for sure, because they're easy to get through. I enjoyed it. It was sad though, like, the main character, Marjorie, she's not really like, she's bullied a little bit in school. It's not like really, really, really bad, but it's still bullying. And it's more like stuff at home is hard, and then stuff at school is hard. And her mom had died that spring or last spring or something. Like, it's been like maybe not even a year yet since her mom died, and her mom owned this laundromat. So they are living at this place, and it's the storefront is the laundromat. Her and her younger brother, who just started kindergarten, and then her dad. And her dad is obviously very depressed and grieving very heavily from the loss of his wife. And Marjorie is trying to keep the laundromat running, but it's been difficult. She's in high school. She's just a kid, so it's hard to run a business and stay up like on your grades and stuff like that. And then there's this guy who's trying to like take over and take her business and turn it into like this 5-star spa resort yoga thing. And he's like, I'm amazing at yoga and blah, blah, blah. And then, so he's like mean. Every time I saw his picture come up in the graphic novel, I was like, I hate this guy. Like, it was like a physical reaction. And then there's this one woman, the mom of the one girl that kind of bullies Marjorie at school. The mom too, like, just something about her face, something about the way she looks. I'm just like, I don't like these people. All these people are mean, and they're bullies, and they're adults. And then there's like the world of the dead, where there's all ghosts. Like, when you die, you get a sheet, and that's what you become, like a sheet ghost, basically. And then you're not supposed to interact with people in the living world. Wendell feels like he doesn't belong where he's at in his ghost town. And so he leaves, and then he finds this laundromat, and he likes it there because he's a sheet, and she's got different bedding and stuff like that, including sheets and stuff, so he feels like he kind of belongs there. But he accidentally like messes some stuff up, and it makes life harder for Marjorie, and she doesn't know what's going on. She's like, I think I left a window open maybe, and the wind blew all these sheets and everything all over the place, and the customers are like, well, what's going on? This isn't very professional. But it was actually like Wendell knocking stuff over and stuff. So they eventually meet. It takes a little while for them to meet. Like, my son was like flipping through the book. He's like, I'm on page 60 and they're not friends yet. I'm like, no, they become friends, or they meet after page like 170 something. Yeah, because my son, he's 6 and he's like flipping through. But I want to get the second story and hope it's a little bit happier. But it was a good story, and I will give it to my 9, almost 10-year-old and see if she likes it or not. I told her she could read it. So that is my reading update for now. And I'm still reading Knitting Pearls, which is the like anthology, different writers talking about knitting, whether they knit or someone in their family knits or whatever, their experience with knitting. So I'm still reading that, which is good. My problem with anthologies and short stories and collections and stuff like that, like Chicken Soup for the Teenage World, just Chicken Soup for the Soul, like whatever one you're reading, is I always feel like I gotta finish the story and get to the next story. And I don't like stop and just like enjoy the story I'm in. I'm always just constantly trying to get to the next story and complete it. So I'm not like the hugest fan of short story collections, but it's good. There's some sweet stories in there. Yeah, now I'm going to jump into One of Us is Lying. There's a group of kids all in detention, and somebody dies, and we're trying to figure out who that was. That's all I know about the book, because I haven't read it yet. I haven't even opened the first page yet. And then Room, I'm listening to the audio, like I said, and there's 2 narrators. There's the little boy and then the mom, and they're both narrated by different people, so that's really cool. And the boy's voice is like very young and childish, so like it's not annoying, but it's authentic to the story, so I like that. Yes, one of the prompts is also to read a backlist, so anything before 2021, which all my books count for that. 5-year-old Jack, Room is the world. It's where he was born. It's where he and Ma eat and sleep and play and learn. There are endless wonders that let loose Jack's imagination. The snake under bed that he constructs out of eggshells, the imaginary world projected through the TV, the coziness of wardrobe beneath Ma's clothes, where she tucks him in safely at night, in case old Nick comes. Room is home to Jack, but to Ma, it's the prison where she's been held since she was 19, for 7 long years. Through her fierce love for her son, she has created a life for him in that 11 by 11 foot space. But Jack's curiosity is building alongside Ma's own desperation, and she knows that Room cannot contain either indefinitely. Told in the inventive, funny, and poignant voice of Jack, Room is a celebration of resilience and the power a powerful story of a mother and son whose love lets them survive the impossible. So one of the reasons why I was also interested in picking this up is because a few years ago, I read the books about J.C. Dugard, who had been taken at the age of 9 and kept until she was like 27 or something, a long time. And she had 2 kids as a teenager. And incredible story of like strength and the power of resilience and survival. Really incredible story. So this is kind of like that, I guess, where she's been taken by this man and has had a kid with this man who's captured her and kept her in confinement in the backyard kind of thing. So should be some heavy topics in here, but it's told from the 5-year-old's perspective. So we'll see what that is like. And yeah, I will update you later. Okay, it is November 26th, and I am doing the wrap up for the Sweater Weather Readathon. A month after the Readathon ended, so that's how far behind I am in recording. So I'm just going on my story graph on the computer, as you can see reflected, and let's see what I've talked about, what I haven't talked about. Okay, so for the Readathon, I read an anthology of knitting pearls, writers writing about knitting, and I enjoyed it. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not a huge fan of anthologies because I always want to get like to the next story. I'm like, I need to get to the next story, and just trying to like complete it. But I enjoyed it. Some of the stories were really sweet, and some of them were about people who knit themselves, and others were about like fond memories of like their grandma or their mom or their aunt or somebody in the family knitting. So that was sweet. And my kids are just coming home from school. And then I also mentioned I read Sheets, the graphic novel by Brenna Thumler, and that one was really good. I liked the art style and everything. I read it all in one day. So yeah, Sheets is about a ghost named Wendell, and when you die, apparently you get a sheet. And this girl named Marjorie, and her mom has passed away, and she had started a laundromat. And so Marjorie is like 16 and trying to keep the laundromat going when she's not at school. And Wendell doesn't feel like he belongs in the ghost world that he's in. So he finds this laundromat and he sees like other sheets and stuff there. So he feels comfortable there, and it's kind of like their story and becoming friends and stuff. And
Subscriber, this will be in your bed.
I don't know, Rylan. And the laundromat's not doing very well, and this guy in town is like trying to buy it from her and stuff, and he's like evil. We don't like him at all. It's a good story, but it's not always the happiest. It's kind of sad. But there is another one that has come out now called Delicates, so I am hoping to get that one soon and continue on with it. The one host of the Sweater Weather Readathon, Zoe, she is hosting another one in December, so I might read Delicates for that. And then I gotta look at my computer screen. I listened to Room by Emma Donohue, which is the book about the woman who was captured and kept in the backyard in just a room, like in a shack, for 7 years, and had a 5-year-old son. And the story starts on his 5th birthday, and it's all told from his perspective. And I really liked it, and I really liked I listened to it as an audiobook, and there was a couple of narrators, and the boy sounded young, like a 5-year-old, but it wasn't like obnoxious or anything like that. Like, it sounded authentic. And I liked the different observations and stuff that he made, and his whole world was composed of just that room. That's all he knew. He knew nothing else. So it was really interesting just to see like them escaping the room and how he observes the world and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed it. It was a really good story. And then I also picked up One of Us is Lying by Karen M. Mcmanus. So One of Us is Lying is a group of students all end up going to detention for having cell phones on their person somewhere in a backpack or whatever. in a classroom where the teacher does not allow cell phones at all. And they're all like, this is weird. Normally I would not have my cell phone on me. Like the one girl's like, I left it in my locker. Like this isn't even my cell phone. And so they all end up in detention together, and one of the kids dies. He has an allergic reaction, and it is very suspicious, and so they're all being investigated for possible murder. And there was one thing that really bothered me, is that they said he died from a peanut allergy, but what he drank was peanut oil. And I'm like, okay, I have a death allergy to peanuts, or like I grew up with that kind of allergy, and you cannot be allergic to peanut oil because it's refined, and they take out, you're allergic to the protein in peanuts, and when you refine the oil, that protein is taken out, so you're not actually allergic or can have an allergic reaction to that protein or to that oil. So like I was telling my husband, I was like, this is driving me crazy. He wouldn't have died that way. And then like so far into the book, there's like one of the students that was in the room and is a suspect is like, it has to be unrefined cooking oil, because if it's refined, then you're not allergic to it. And I saw this on like a cooking show or whatever, and I was like, yes, okay, they addressed it. Karen Mcmanus knows what she's talking about. So I was okay with it after that. I was very happy that they addressed the fact that it couldn't just be any old peanut oil. I liked One of Us is Lying. It was interesting. It was YA, so I don't read a ton of YA, but I thought, like, I don't know. It was good. It was good. There's another one after it, but I don't feel like I need to read it. I felt like it all wrapped up just fine, so I probably will not be going into the second book for that. And then that was all that I read for the Sweater Weather Readathon. That was it. And it was good, and I'm glad I got to do it in the middle of doing the Black Aminathon and all the books I was reading. So I read a lot of good books in October, and that was fun. And now I am doing a digathon, which is done on Tuesday. So I got 4 more days left of that, and I'm just trying to read all the books for that as well. But this Cozy Weather one was really good, and I enjoyed it, and I look forward to the Christmas one coming up. And thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know if you participated in this. Have you read any of the books that I read, and did you like them? I'll see you next time. Bye!